Action.
Greetings, people of Earth. 85 years in the future. The year is 2099. Mankind has sustained permanent settlements on the planet Mars for the last 55 years. In those 5 decades, this society of far-flung humans has tried to bring every little Earth-born familiarity to the inhospitable red planet. They've imported plants and soil to grow food. They've brought data cards of books to fill whole libraries. They've beamed programming, mostly classics from Earth, so they can while away the hours inside their protective dome. And they brought with them comedy. King of the Martian Late Night centers around the only late night show on the entire planet. A homegrown Martian entertainment industry is stuck in a veritable primordial stage as the first generation of King of the Martian Late Night centers around the only late night talk show on the entire planet. A homegrown Martian entertainment industry is stuck in a veritable primordial stage of A homegrown Martian entertainment industry is stuck in a veritable primordial stage as the first generation of natural-born Martians, the offspring of egg-headed scientists and crazy adventurers, struggles to build its own unique brand of extraterrestrial Hollywood. Jerome Marsman is the 36-year-old host of the Martian Late Night Show. Born on Mars in 2063, Jerome has never seen life outside of a biodome, save for a few excursions in a pressurized spacesuit. But he dreams of the lives lived by his idols: Jack Paar, Johnny Carson, Jimmy Fallon. Just like them, Jerome has a gift for gab, a quick wit, and a name that starts with J. Jerome is married to Allison Marsman, 35 years old. Allison came to Mars at the age of 23 as part of the Mars Needs Teachers program. They have 2 children, an 8-year-old daughter and a 6-year-old son. Allison has always pressured Jerome to move their family back to Earth. Allison has always pressured Jerome to move their family to Earth. She misses her old family and her hometown and the simple ability to go outside. Jerome is torn by the prospect of having to move to Earth. On one hand, Mars is his home. It's the only home he's ever known. Jerome is torn by the prospect of moving to Earth. Mars is his home, the only place he's ever known. And he's arguably the most popular man on the planet, Mars's premier celebrity. On the other hand, he wants to make his wife happy, and he would love the opportunity to see how his hosting chops measure up on a planet where there are no less than 200 well-known and popular late-night hosts. The comedy crucible, as Jerome calls it. But Mars has its political problems. Nope. But Mars has some political problems. Within the first few episodes of King of the Martian Late Night, a group of Martian radicals destroys the planet's space elevator. It's a device that connects the Mars surface to a low orbit space dock, which enables easy interaction between Mars and Earth cargo vessels. The activist group wants Mars to cut ties from Earth and to be its own political entity. Until the space elevator is prepared. Hold on. Wow.
I forgot to bring the water bottles.
I know, it's okay. No, my mouth is just getting fatigued.
Gotcha.
It's okay. Until the space elevator is repaired, no one can leave Mars and no one can arrive from Earth. Everybody is stuck where they are, including Jerome and his family, which suits Jerome just fine. Like to defer the decision to move back as long as possible. Jerome is secretly relieved he can delay the decision to move his family. In the meantime, he will continue to make his show everything it can be. Comedy unique to Mars, but just as good as anything on Earth. There's just one problem. Never having had an official government, Martians decide, in light of the... There's just one problem. Never having had an official government, Martians decide, in the light of the radicals' growing destructive behavior, it's time to elect a planetary president. A half dozen highly ambitious and highly smarmy candidates throw their hats into the ring. After a 2-week campaign, an election is held. Jerome unexpectedly finds himself the winner in a write-in landslide. At first, Jerome refuses the office. Poking fun at presidents has always been much more his speed. But his supporters mount a compelling argument for him to accept the job, reasoning that he could continue his comedy show and run the planet simultaneously. Hell, he figures it couldn't hurt ratings. Sure enough, in the glow of Jerome's election, his show's ratings enjoy a huge spike, both at home and with viewers back on Earth. Jerome is very pleased. Jerome is very pleased. At least while Jerome is very pleased. At least while his Martian presidency is easy enough of a task. Jerome is very pleased. At least while his Martian presidency is an easy enough task. With a tiny population and a rudimentary social structure, being president of Mars in 2099 is comparable to having been mayor of Fairbanks, Alaska in 1975. Mars is remote and isolated, but the rest of... That's not right. Sorry. Mars is remote and isolated, but not completely cut off from the rest of human civilization. Jerome's task then becomes to balance his comedy and late-night social commentary with his new role as leader of the Martians. Some unique challenges will need to be addressed in producing a show set 85 years in the future, especially one in which the main character makes his living lampooning the topical social and political issues of his day. This challenge will be addressed in 3 ways. First, the show within a show will be periphery to the storylines of the characters. Much like 30 Rock and Larry Sanders Show, this challenge will be addressed in 3 ways. First, The show within a show will be periphery to the storylines of the characters, much like 30 Rock or The Larry Sanders Show. Second, one of the characters is Benjamin Rudoy. He's the executive producer of the show and suffers from a unique Martian-born disease which resembles a mild form of dementia. He frequently forgets things and has to enlist the help of a sentient robot who can fill him in all the details of the happenings and goings-on in the years from 2014 all the way up to 2099. And lastly, some of Jerome's early monologues might seem a little esoteric to audiences, but as they follow the show, those references will always refer back to happenings and events in previous episodes. The topical events that Jerome mostly refers to will have been shown on the show. Another challenge of the show will be imagining the various technological and social changes that will occur over the next 8 decades. Another challenge of the show will be imagining the many technological and sociological changes that might happen over the next 8 decades. This will be a fun challenge, as speculating about the future will lend itself to unique and humorous opportunities. The Martian colonies themselves will have been established for a variety of reasons. Scientific study, the flexing of empirical muscle, religious freedom, hell, shits and giggles. There's a colonial group for each and every possible human whim. There's a colonial group for each and every human whim. Let me do those last ones. The Martian colonies themselves will have been settled for a number of different reasons. Scientific research. Scientific studies, sorry. The Martian colonies themselves will have been established for a number of reasons. Scientific study, social and religious freedom, flexing of empirical muscle, hell, shits and giggles. There's a colonial group for each and every human whim imaginable.